So I made a method using memory game to teach people how to sight read, sight sing, or play any instruments, learn the notes and the fingerings on any instrument. It's a very repetitive instrument using memory game, just like I used in my alphabet method. It starts with only two notes, G and A, or D and E, doesn't matter. And I'm using MUSESCORE, and I'm going to show you how to use MUSESCORE.com and their software on a computer, so you can follow this starting from just two notes and learn how to play. This is a big file, and I'm going to show you where you can find it and how. Let me start from the beginning. Go away in the beginning, show you how it starts with just two notes. I'm going to starts with D here. So whether you're playing the violin or the flute or the clarinet, you can pick it up and just find, or use Google to figure out how you do these two notes, D and E. Those are pretty easy notes to find on the clarinet, on the flute, on the ukulele, on the guitar, and so forth. Just basically goes through with just two notes. I can speed it up. This is a play panel in MUSESCORE. I can speed it up if it's too slow for me. Note that we're just dealing with two notes, and it takes a while before the next note is introduced. If you want to sight read or sight sing, it's a good exercise to pause, pause, rest, rest, da, rest, rest, E, E, D, E, D, E, E, D. It goes for a page almost before the next note is introduced. So here we have an F. D, E, F, D, F, F, E, D, E, F, P, rest, 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 E, E, see, I made a mistake, F, F, E, F, E, F. So I'm just using the white keys on the piano, just the major scale. It's a mode of the major scale, but I have other files that deal with 2 sharps, 3 sharps, other keys, gypsy scale, and so forth. But the good thing is that if it's too fast for you on the violin, you can just slow it down. Go very slow. Just get every note perfectly. And you play with an orchestra practically, with a group. So even if you don't sound that good, it's getting covered. Your mistakes don't sound as terrible. And then as you move forward, more and more notes are introduced very slowly. G. And then there's rests where you can kind of take a break every page. You can go back as many times as you want. You can take a break, stretch a little bit, rub your shoulders, your head, scalp, come back and do the next lesson, or save it for another day. B, A, B, A, B, F, G, A, B, G, A. You can improvise in the middle too. Add some notes. B, So anyways, you can speed it up if you're too good with the instrument. You can go over this many times. And it's interesting, once you transpose this, you can have so many sharps, 5 sharps. And on the MUSESCORE app, you technically are supposed to be able to do that, except that my file is a little bit too big, so it crashes their app. Maybe I should make smaller files. Or maybe their app has a problem, at least the Android version. So what I do is I use their desktop version. It has a more beautiful sound, actually. And I have control over what staffs show, and I can transpose it and so forth. So I'm going to show you, well, let's just go forward in the middle of the file. This is 25 minutes. So after 25 minutes, you've learned quite a few notes. See, F, G, G, F, A, F, C, G, G. I should do some sight singing myself. And of course you can speed it up, and you know, if you're good, I can show you even how to transpose this thing for your instrument. So you're learning more and more notes. So here we are, minute 22. You're even going to high octaves. But I think it's good to stop every page, every few minutes, and limit. Just do 5% or 10% of this file. And as each note is introduced, you can just use Google to figure out what the fingering is for this one new note. So it gradually just builds up. Okay, so I'm going to stop and show you where to go to download it. I've called it Motude for learning any instrument, C major scale, with starting with D for flute, guitar, ukulele, violin. And here you go to MUSESCORE.com. You can look up my name, GoodCyrus, and you can go to the beginning. Now on their website, they do playback, but they don't really allow you to. I guess you can change the speed too, but you cannot transpose anything. On their app you can. And these are the accompaniment. So what you can do, if you can ignore all these lines and just focus on that, you can just do it on the website. Just ignore all these other lines. But also you can go and download this file. It would require you, I think, to log in. But I can put it on a different site, so you don't even have to get it from here. You directly download it from my website. But here you can say, okay, download MUSESCORE. But you have to have login, I think, here. You have to set up a login page. But it's free anyways, you can do that. And you can download all kinds of other music. But then I download it as MUSESCORE, and then it gets downloaded. I have already downloaded it. And here I go to my files. I downloaded it. Download files. I just double click on that. That file comes up. It says, are you trying to open a new one? I already had it open. I say don't save, open a new one. Okay, so it opens a new one, and here I can press I for instruments. Then it shows what instruments, what staffs are visible. You can go and uncheck the piano accompaniment, so you only have your part, and then you say okay. If you're using a transposing instrument like the clarinet, you can right click and go into staff properties, say change instrument, woodwind. Right now we have it as flute. You could make it into a transposing instrument like B flat clarinet, so everything gets transposed and you're good to go. Or you can change it to violin if you like a violin. There's sound on their software. You have to download the MUSESCORE software. I forgot to mention that. I'm going to put a link for that too, because it has a nice sound and you can do all kinds of things, and it's free. It's a freeware. So here I just changed it into violin so we hear the violin. Violin is a difficult sound to create, so to generate electronically, and this is doing a good job. MUSESCORE quit unexpectedly. Okay, I have to open it again. Restore the previous session. Yeah. Okay, here, so I can just go in here. If I go under view, I can open up a mixer and change the volumes. I can get that play panel, which I was showing you here. Under view, I can get also a mixer and what else? Palettes, all kinds of things. Palette is the main thing for changing the clefs, all kinds of adding notes, changing time signature, and so forth. But I don't think you would need that. Stop it, close that. And you can also use F10 and F11 as shortcuts for those. For F10 is the mixer. So if you want to crank up your part, you can crank it up. Say, and then if you want, you can watch it in continuous view. The problem is that you always run out and you don't know what's coming after, so you may fall behind. So in continuous view, you say page view. Then the corners, you have all these return line return, or page, new page. You can go here and say select, and then I say select, all similar elements, meaning all the page returns and everything. It's selected all of them. So I'm just going to say delete. So it got rid of all those new pages. So all I have is my part, and I can save that now. Anyways, so I can speed it up. It starts, like I said, only with 2 notes, and gradually you get 1 note added every once in a while. And after a minute or such. So let's say you want to make it complicated. After doing this for a week or 2, let's say you want to bring some sharps. You just say Control A, select everything, notes, and you say transpose it. You can transpose it, up by an interval. Right now it's the C major scale. It's a mode insinuate. I can push it up 1 whole tone, major, second, so I get a bunch of sharps. I get F sharp and C sharp, and it's a D major scale, but of course it's a different mode of like Aeolian and so forth, and it changes, and it's not, I intentionally wanted to make something that's not just simple scale practice. It's kind of melodious, but has simple time, rhythm, and so forth. There's time variation, there's rhythmic variation, but I've written it in such simple manner that anyone can understand. That's a rest, that's a note, that's and probably might be good for kids too. So that's that. So I just transpose. I can just transpose it as much as I want to any key. Another thing I could do, Control Z, go back. I could Control Alt, hold everything, and just push everything up. I think it moves it up by half tone. Just use the arrow up, and then I can do it again. So now I have F sharp, and probably I have C sharp too. If I look down, I'm not using C yet. Yeah, so C sharp. So practically I moved it half tone up twice. So I went from the C major scale to the D major scale. So I have 2 sharps. Every time you transpose any music score by a whole tone up, you get 2 extra sharps in your key signature. And if you do it twice, you get 4 sharps, and if you go up from C to D, D to E, E to F sharp, you get 6 sharps. In the same way, if you transpose your score down, you get 2 flats. Every whole tone gives you 2 flats. So 3 whole tones down, from C to B flat, then down to A flat, then down to whatever. Every time you go down a whole tone, you're adding a 2 flats. So you can have 4 flats for 2 whole tones down below C major. Anyways, that's a technical thing, but I thought I should share that. So that's that. I know playing this, I really didn't think I had the memory anymore to learn a new instrument, but using this I managed to learn. Yeah, first I tried all kinds of different methods out in the market, books and so forth, and I didn't like it. I particularly didn't like the Suzuki method, and that's what made me actually write something very simple and repetitive that hammers the notes in your head. So I looked at all these instruments. I had a clarinet that I wanted to learn, a flute, a ukulele, and a violin. And now pretty much I have learned the notes after a month. I've learned the notes on the clarinet, on the violin, on the flute, on ukulele. The problem is that I'm doing too many instruments at the same time, but I don't have a great memory. I'm pushing 50, and I really didn't think I could memorize fingerings and all kinds of instruments, but this really helped me because it's very repetitive. And after doing a month or two of this stuff, you may be able to here I was playing the Bach double concerto on the flute and the violin. Well, of course I slow it down. You could slow it down as much as you want. There's no problem with it. I turn down the volume. So when you go to MUSESCORE, another good thing about MUSESCORE is that up there you can search GoodCyrus or Motude. I have another file I want to show you. Another one is, this is G major scale. And it's starting with, I think, just G. Like on the violin, the bass string is G, so you can start with G, A. On the clarinet, after the bottom bell notes, you start with G, G, A. On the recorder, on the guitar, you could start with G. Anyway, so this is G major scale starting with G, but I can make other ones and put them up. But the good thing about MUSESCORE is that then you can go there and look up anyone. Any composer, anyone you like. I don't know who. Say Mozart or Brahms. I prefer Brahms. And you can download other Lacrimosa. This is from the Requiem. Okay. I can download this again. I can go there, download it, and if it's easy, I look at it. If it's easy, maybe I'll try to play it. Beautiful music. This is Mozart's best. So this may not be easy or good for the violin, but I download all kinds of things. Like I said, here's the Bach double concerto, or any kind of music that's good exercise. You can speed it up if you're good. It'll take a while to get to that point. There's no problem with slowing it down to 15% even, to play it very slow. Once you go through those exercises, I think after 2-3 months you'll be able to. And the fun thing is that you're playing with an orchestra. It doesn't sound as bad by yourself practicing and making bad sounds. Your bad sounds get covered up and you get more encouraged. I wish I could hold my cell phone and play a little bit for you. Here's my flute. I don't know, can I play a little bit? And if I can't get to a note, not a big deal. This thing needs to be tuned. Oh, it's a bunch of flats. Oh, I transpose it. Anyway, so if you don't like a piece of music the way it is, you can just transpose this as 3 flats. I can just, if you're not used to it, change it to something else. Here's another Bach concerto movement. is that player panel. I can slow it down a little bit for myself. It's at 100%. Okay. And now. There's no shame in slowing it down and anyways, just a little demo. Alright, I hope this helps, and I'll put some links and hope it tells a few people out there. And try sight singing. It's not a bad thing. I need to do that myself. Alright, talk to you later. Bye-bye. Let me stop this. I cannot just stop balk that easily. Alright, bye-bye.